Hey folks, this is ioEther and we're back playing some more World of Tanks. So as you can see, this is Ronnok in his Waffentrager off Panzer IV, obviously Erlenberg, and it's a tier 10 game. Now with him is Fax in his T30, also a tier 9 TD, and these two are going to have some fun. But before we get actually into the game, I do want to apologize for the last week and a half-ish. I've been AFK, MIA, whatever you want to call it. I managed to pull my back muscles. Really amazingly good job there. I killed my back. And I couldn't sit up straight for until yesterday, today-ish. So that's why I haven't been casting, because you guys didn't want to see the top of my head in the cast, because that's all you would have seen. Sorry. And so yeah, now that I feel better and I can actually sit up straight, I'm going to start casting again normally, regularly, and get back to normal. Let's see, oh, right, and of course, as always, if you want to support the channel and you enjoy the video, like the video, and that will help out immensely. Now for some reason, Ronnok and Fax have decided to go in different directions. Fax is down there. Now, I don't know if that was just because he wasn't paying attention to where Ronnok was going, or Ronnok wasn't paying attention to where Fax was going, or these two were just, I don't know. But normally as a platoon you want to stay together unless you have in completely opposite roles. For example, artillery and scouts. Obviously you want to be in different sides of the map in that case. But for the most part, if you're playing a similar tank, or a tank that can support one another, you should be together. Whoa. As that will provide the most likelihood of you guys being able to carry the battle if you need to. And let's face it, if you're watching this, you probably need to be carrying battles. Or feel like you do, anyway. Now, there isn't really a sizable push on this side of the map, so this is why Ronnok is so far back. He's as far back as he can possibly get, and he's going to let as much of the enemy team come to him as possible. He's expecting either to get rushed or have somebody come up way closer than he'd be normally comfortable with them being. This is why he's this far back. Now our Tiger 2 is already taking some massive hits, and I don't think it's going to be too much longer before he goes down. Now he's either being hit by artillery right now, or possibly just enemy tanks pushing up on him. Now there is the Object 140, seems to be pushing up on our Tiger 2. Yeah, Tiger 2 isn't going to last much longer. Can he get away? Ooh, what was that? Our ISU just got murdered, down from full health down to like 7 or something like that. And he's now dead. Yes, it was 7. Now the enemy Moss is pushing up. And the mouse is going to plus up. That's totally, yeah. Good English there, Ether. Good job. Oh, I haven't cast in way too long. That's what's going on. Object 140 is pushing up on our E4, and our E4 is about to be dead. Ooh, T30 in the open. A rush shot by Ronnok manages to. What is this? Okay. So the rush shot by Ronnok manages to only take out his tracks. Now, for some reason, our Object 416 has decided to run back past Ronnok in order to escape. And all that's really going to do is it's going to bring enemy attention down closer to him. And I guess if Ronnok was aiming in better spots, he probably could have got some damage off right then. But either through lack of concentration or more likely lack of prediction, he didn't actually get any damage off. Now he's going to have to spot his own targets at this point in time. Object 261 taking out the enemy Moss, and he does not want to fire at this 140. He wants the 140 to go right past him. Yep. Okay, the 140 thinks he's cleared this area. Nope, he's circling back around. That means Ronnok has not been lit. Ooh, that was close. Okay, so enemy 140 thinks this area is clear. Enemy team is going to push forward And once they're outside of the distance in which they can spot Ronnok, he's going to open up and start making them pay for their mistakes. Now the T-30 is getting below the dip. He's not going to be able to get any shots on him. Tiger 2, however, though, beautiful, beautiful shot into the Tiger 2. Tiger 2 has no idea where that came from. As far as he's concerned, this area of the map is completely clear of enemies. The Object 140 checked it already, right? Well, we're losing this, but as long as people continue to not realize that Ronnok is back here, he's going to have free damaging shots into the back of the enemy tanks, which is honestly just hilarious if you're the one doing the damage to the back end of enemy tanks. Now, unfortunately, Fax is getting pushed quite hard, and he's going to have some real troubles keeping the enemies. Ooh, beautiful shot. Keeping the enemies off him if all the mediums just push up at him. He's going to be able to do a little bit of damage, but not going to be able to do all the damage. Unless, of course, they come out one at a time, in which case, yeah, he will. Ooh, beautiful shot on the 140 on the move, clipping the guy, taking out a bunch of his health. Unfortunately, not going to be enough for our 140 to live, I don't think. Nope. And back end of an Object 140. Ooh, not quite enough to kill him. And they've got to start figuring out where these shots are coming from, but apparently they still haven't. I'm going to go ahead and guess that Ronnok has 6th Sense on this tank, as that would be the only way he'd be 100% confident in his camo ratings. This enemy T-30, again, these guys are taking shots from behind, and what's more, their markers will be telling them that that's where they're taking shots from, and they're either ignoring them or disregarding them, or of course not noticing. All of those are bad things, by the way. Like, there was so many shots into the back ends of friendly tanks that they really should have realized where they were getting shot from earlier. Ooh, that was a beautiful predictive shot. So he set up and he aimed where he knew the T-34-2 was going to roll back into, and that's where he, after letting the guy fire at him, he waited until he was rolling back, fired, and the guy rolled back perfectly into his shell. Now Ronnok is trying to juke this M103. Of course, M103 takes it. His gunner, beautiful shot into the bottom of the M103. Now he's going to try and use the M103 as cover against the enemy artilleries, because we all know in pub games, enemy artillery is never going to fire on it with a friendly tank nearby, right? That would never happen. Thankfully, friendly artillery comes in and takes out the M103 for us. Now, I personally would have tried to use the enemy M103 as cover right then, but Ronnok apparently knows better, and that probably would have gotten me killed in that situation, as it looks like that shell would have landed pretty much exactly where I would have been if I had been rolling back to use that M103 as cover. Doesn't matter, however, Ronnok is in cover now, and unfortunately the replay seems to be a little bit jerky. That's nothing we can do about that. Looks like Fax is still in full health over there, so apparently the enemy team did in fact try and push up to him one by one, thinking somehow if they went at a T-30 one at a time, this would somehow kill him. Yes, we will. I don't know what they were thinking. Never roll it up to a T-30 one at a time if you want to kill it. If you have the numbers advantage on them, which they did, they should have just rolled them. Two mediums should have just jumped over that ridge. They would have taken a shot, maybe a shot apiece, but more than likely they would have murdered Fax without dying. Or if they did die, taking out a T-30 is worth it. So now Ronnok is going to set up a defense again using these bushes. He is going to hide the majority of his tank and swing his gun around. Unfortunately, not able to shoot that unless he rolls backwards. Wait, what? So that was We're just gonna pause this for a second. So, Ronnok just fired an HE shell thinking he could hit the back of an ISU. He missed the ISU and took off Facsimile's track, his friendly platoon mate's track, in the sights of the enemy artillery, and got him killed. Did you get assistance damage for that? Now, I know these two are in TS together, so I would have loved to be able to hear this conversation right now. Oh well. Enemy IS-3 is going to come derping along. Oh no, he isn't in fact in cover of that hill. Maybe he realizes exactly where Ronnok is. Maybe he doesn't. No, he's never going to kill Ronnok now. Now, I personally, again, would juke behind that house as for a solid cover, but apparently Ronnok doesn't think he needs to worry about that. Ooh, ISU gets killed by the FV-215B. Why do the British always need to have, like, FV followed by a series of numbers? Why can't you just name your things actual things? Yeah. Anyway, so Fax is raging at the friendly FV-215B for reasons I don't understand. That's not going to help your team win, by the way. So now we're pushing up. We're trying to find the T-28 prototype as well as the enemy artillery. Now it is only the Tier 9 batch yet, not the Tier 10. So there is that bonus. Now, of course, the T-28 was last spotted right here on the map. That doesn't mean he's still there, but it is a T-28 prototype. As long as he was spotted within the last couple minutes, it's very unlikely he got very much further away than that. As I was not paying attention to T-28, I don't know when the last time he was spotted was, so he may have, like, completely circumvented the map. Now, the artillery that died, yeah, I don't know. Did he drown himself? I wasn't watching. Considering how good of a player he is, I really hope he didn't drown himself. But it does look like he's out in the middle of some water, doesn't it? Now, with the time running on the clock, it looks like capping is our only option. So Ronnok jumps on the cap. He's going to find the lowest part of this terrain, as you know, he wants to be as far down as possible so that the T-28 has to come as close as possible in order to be able to shoot him. 215B has decided to sit and cover him instead of coming in, jumping on the cap and helping him. So I don't know if I agree with this, but I also understand that the 215B is a one-shot to anybody. So he really does, you know, maybe it is better that he sits in cover and protects Ronnok. And he is, of course, guarding one whole side of the map, so Ronnok is guaranteed to know if somebody's coming from that direction. Now me, with my trolliness in mind, would actually go and sit inside that shell marker bit, because what's the likelihood of enemy artillery firing the same spot twice? Ooh, we found the T-28 prototype. He has in fact tried to make his way all the way from that side of the map, and we could put a shell right through the front of him. But as long as he hasn't lit us, Ronnok is going to try and maintain his cover. Now, enemy artillery has, of course, reloaded. As long as we're not lit, there's no point in telling the enemy artillery exactly where we are. T-28 is engaged in a duel. What he should be doing is charging straight across and trying to light Ronnok so that his enemy artillery can decap, or his friendly artillery can decap. But that's not what happens. And enemy artillery, with premium 1900 experience without his daily double. I just want to say, if you wondered why I stopped commenting on the end of that, it was because my screen decided to go all funky. So I didn't actually see the end of that game. I saw Ronnok start to end the cap. and then my screen went all funky and I heard an explosion. I'm going to assume that Ronnok lived through it, as it says he lived through it. I have no idea if he took extra damage. You, of course, will. Sometimes it just feels like everything is against you. Anyway, so Master Badge, Ace Tanker, Fighter, Fire for Effect, and of course the coveted Invader. Actually, not so much coveted, but just hilarious to end up on a Waffentrager. Not something you end up with a whole lot. Does get a bunch of spotting damage on the ML3 for actually lighting him and being in melee combat. Wait, spotting damage. Do you have binocs on this thing, Ronnok, or is the Waffentrager's spotting range just that broken? Because that shouldn't be. You shouldn't be able to detect an enemy TD who is behind bushes when you're out in the middle of an open field without him spotting you. Right? Like, that doesn't... So everybody knows this is a 9.5 replay, if you're wondering. Pre-debuffs on TDs and artillery and whatnot. 5,600 damage dealt over 5 kills, earning him everything. That was pretty awesome. The rest of his team, like Fax and this object, definitely helped out quite a bit. Why is our E4 so far down the list? I don't know. Okay, well, you got spine damage. I don't understand. For some reason the game has decided that this E4 deserves half the experience of other players who earn similar amounts of damage. That's just... okay, whatever. Sometimes I don't understand this game. Oh, whack load of damage dealt from in close. That was pretty awesome. And then, of course, the assistance and the base cap points, topping it all off. That was an awesome game. Thank you so much, Ronnok, for sending it in. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. ioEther out.
Hey folks, this is ioEther and we're back with some more World Tanks. Side scraping! How to counter a player who's side scraping. So the E100 is trying to side scrape. And you can see... let's see where... Ronnok is actually firing at the engine deck of the enemy tank. And, well, that makes sense, because Ronnok's gun is actually higher up than the enemy tank's engine deck, so he can aim down. And if he concentrates right, and if he... well, yeah, T-57. Really? How did you miss that shot on the T-57? Really? That was like a free shot. So the enemy A100 is getting really pissed that Ronnok can somehow penetrate him without being, without exposing enough of his tank so that so this guy can kill Ronnok. So Ronnok's, again, gonna shoot for the engine deck.